to this episode. We're going to talk about expectations, which is a huge topic, and we're going to do our best to not waffle and condense it down and simplify it and maybe limit ourselves to one or two rabbit holes. What do you think about that, Adam?
I think one or two rabbit holes is enough. That'll be fine.
It's fair, right? One or two is fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not cut a girl off, right?
Oh.
To kick us off, Adam, I looked up some quotes on expectations that I thought we could talk about a little bit. Something really cool that Stephen Hawking said. He said, "My expectations were reduced to zero when I was 21. Everything since then has been a bonus." And I feel like that goes back to something that you've said to me before about that expectation only leads to disappointment. Have I butchered that?
Generally leads.
Generally. I remember you said something about that. And yeah, I think you're right. Was that the saying someone mentioned to you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually did some work on like clearly defining the two. That expectation is external, and intention is kind of internal. So actually the definition, it says, in general, an expectation refers to the anticipated or probable outcome of an event or situation, and it can also refer to a prediction of what's likely to happen based on past experience or assumptions. And then an intention is a mental state or a conscious plan to act in a certain way or to achieve a specific goal involving the recognition of a desired outcome, followed by a decision to take actions that will move the individual towards that outcome. So it's so if you have an intention, you're willing to just do whatever it takes to get to the result, where an expectation is, because I did this, then I expect that to happen, which can then lead to disappointment.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So as per usual with us, it comes back down to language, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
You'll have some people may listen to this and say, oh, well, intention, expectation, it's the same thing.
Potato.
Yeah. To some people, yes, it can be the same thing. However, I guess what we're getting at is it doesn't have to be the same thing. It's all about the way you view it personally and what you want out of it. Personally, I don't really want to get disappointed. I don't like feeling disappointed.
Yeah.
And so I like the idea of, rather than expecting an outcome, that I set the intention for the outcome that I'm aiming for.
Yeah, because your intentions intentions are influenced by a variety of things. So it's our beliefs, our values, social norms, attitudes, environment, all of that stuff. But the intentions are also influenced by the individual's influence. The individual, and an individual is influenced by their perception of their ability to act on their intentions. So that's known as self-efficacy. So intentions are important because they guide the behavior and motivate the action then. So that they're often considered, it's a real key precursor to that behavioral change and achieving the goal. So some might say an intention is almost like legally binding. It's not legally binding, but like to you feel so like you've got this intention to make it happen, so you feel that much more kind of connected to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, because like like you said, it's internal as well. When the expectation is external, there's not as strong a connection to it, I don't think, because it relies upon other people as well, doesn't it? An expectation. Whereas an intention, it really boils down to you. It starts and ends with you, the intention. So you can connect to it a lot stronger, I think, just teasing that out. The other thing, rolling off of something you just said, Adam. So an expectation from a linguistic point of view is a strong belief that something will happen. And, what's a belief? Because beliefs, they're based on what? So you can have an expectation of what you want or what you want to happen or how someone should be. And that's going to be based on your belief system, though.
Yeah. Which
can be completely different to someone else's beliefs. So perhaps also expectations, we create our own pain and heartbreak and hurt.
We always do.
Through those expectations, because they're actually based on our belief system. And that can have all sorts of, again, you go back to values and things like that and your upbringing. You could have an entirely different belief system on relationships and, work ethics, all sorts of things. What you think you should treat me this way, or it should be fair. All these shoulds are those external expectations.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Belief.
So expectation, involves, I think, that just to sort of sum it up, that feeling of power, can involve a sense of powerlessness if that outcome that you're looking for, it isn't in the individual's control. Whereas like the intention involves that sense of real like personal power, almost, meaning that the individual's got that sense of control over their actions, and then therefore the ability to make choices that are then going to influence the outcome. So it puts you in the driving seat.
I like, again, if we play with the language, so we can swap this out. There's a quote by Charles Kettering that says, high achievement always takes place in the framework of high expectation. And I feel like, for me anyway, that's a very personal thing. And if we put intention in its place, that we can achieve highly of ourselves when
intention.
Yes, when we have a high intention of ourselves as well.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's awesome.
I do too. Yeah, that's a bit sexy, that one. Kind of like it.
Yeah, and I think intention is definitely that precursor towards behavioral change and that goal achievement. Because it provides the motivation and direction for the action. Whereas expectation isn't necessarily linked to motivation on the other hand, so that's where it can sometimes lead to disappointment, if that anticipated outcome doesn't happen. And I think intentions also have a knock-on, that can be so varied, because you can have a really high intention, as we were talking about just then, or my kind of intention is, so they can vary in the level of how specific they are, how the clarity around it, is it a general goal that you want to achieve, or is it a very specific action plan? Whereas like the expectations are, they tend to sort of typically be more narrowly defined and sort of focused on just that one particular outcome.
Not a lot of wiggle room, is there?
Exactly. We'd love a wiggle.
Yeah, you got to have that wiggle room.
Yeah, I'm intending to wiggle today.
Wiggling got me thinking about then, because I've heard people who dislike, I've had discussions with people who dislike the saying realistic expectations.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't believe
I
in that myself.
don't like that. What is realistic, etc.
Realism is only based on your experience of things up to this point.
Yeah. Well, so if you think about it, then using the term realistic, it's really just bringing it back to a personal intention, isn't it? It's about your own. Well, what do you want? What's your purpose for the intention or for the expectation? Do you have any prior proof? Is that what makes something realistic to you, to expect something? Has it happened before?
Yeah.
The other layer to that, though, I think that comes with personal growth is whether it's an intention or an expectation, whatever you've called it, is actually the understanding and the acceptance that it may not happen. And so then what is your action then? So often, again, expectations get tied up with that if it doesn't happen, then that's it, it's over. Life is shit. I'm not even going to try anymore. And, everything goes to crap.
Yeah.
And again, that's just putting all that power outside yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And so when we can understand that when things do not turn out the way we envisioned them or the way we intended them to be, okay, well, what's the reason that it went like that? And what can I control? What can I do? How can I tweak this? And see it as an opportunity rather than a failure or a defeat.
Exactly. Have a conversation of possibility with oneself.
That's a bit sexy, Adam.
I know, right? I know.
Conversation possibility.
Well, I mean, you know what? I use that phrase all the time. It's not
I
my
love it.
phrase. I stole it from somewhere. I can't remember where now, but
Everything is, though, is it not?
everything is. Yeah, I just thought, oh, I really like that.
Everything is rinse and repeat.
Yeah,
put your own flavor on it, right?
Yep, got a fair old bit of flavor over here.
You're flavoring, you're wiggling.
Well, it is Friday. It is Friday. So yeah, I think just to sort of sum it up, my take on it is that so both intention and expectation they both relate to future orientated mental states, if that kind of makes sense. But they absolutely differ in their focus, the commitment to it, the power that they have, to drive the motivation, the level of like clarity and how specific you are with the reasons for doing it. Intention is more closely tied to the personal side of things, as we're saying, the internal stuff and the motivation, whilst expectation is absolutely focused on the outcome of an event or a situation, or externalizing it is where I ended up.
Love it. I love it. Well, I will I'll throw my 2 cents in the ring to sum up as well then. And I'll come from the direction of that if in life you are feeling disappointed, that something or someone hasn't delivered on what you wanted. So you've got that feeling of disappointment. That's the perfect time to pause and think, okay, well, whose power is it to make things go the way that I want them to go? Where do I place the power? Because if you think about that and you've placed it externally to you, then it's time to start thinking, okay, well, what can I control? What can I do? Where is my part in this? And then you're going to be a lot more, I think, confident in moving forward with those higher level, perhaps, intentions.
Yeah.
Because you're relying on yourself. End
Absolutely.
of story. That's where the power is, yeah?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Love it. Well,
lovely.
This was quick and dirty, which is how I love them, Adam.
Oh, perfect.
So we're going to wrap this bad boy up now, and I look forward to sharing this space with you next week.
Yeah.
And we'll
Fantastic.
talk about something equally as awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. True love, y'all.
See you there.